The Republicans have finally released their secret plan for Obamacare. They were under a significant amount of pressure to do so. And so essentially, this is what it does. It's a repeal of the Obamacare's individual mandate. But it also wants to maintain coverage for people with pre-existing conditions and allow children to stay on their parents' plans until the age of 26. It would offer individual refundable tax credits to purchase health insurance. It also would keep Obamacare's protections to those with pre-conditions. It would allow, and here's where the rubber meets the road. It's going to only allow the Medicaid expansion to continue through 2020. And if you're not a part of the expansion by 2020, or if you fall out of it and need to come back after 2020, you're no longer eligible for the Medicaid expansion. It does not cap the tax on employer-sponsored coverage. It also would retain the Cadillac tax, but that actually in itself has not gone into effect. So it does not yet have a congressional budget office score. And this is important because repealing the mandate, but trying to keep all of the best portions of it, while undermining some key significant things for the most vulnerable, as well as those middle class people living check to check, or people who are not even in the middle class, they just can't quite afford Obamacare, even with the subsidy. Trying to keep the best things while getting rid of the mandate and still hurting a lot of Americans. It's going to cost a lot more, or it may not even be functional. And so this is why they don't have a congressional budget office score, because they might be worried if Americans actually understand how many people would actually be hurt by this and the implications, or the impact rather, that this will have on the economy. This is actually, and this is kind of low-hanging fruit here, but I want you to think about the mindset. I think it shines a significant light in the mindset of the people who are crafting this repeal, which is not really a repeal. They're going to call it a fix, but it's not really a fix because it's screwing more Americans. It's just for the Republicans to be able to say that they did something on Obamacare. These people who are so absurd, they have put into this repeal of Obamacare that lottery winners, underneath the new law, they would lose their Medicaid eligibility. Like all 12 of lottery winners across the United States, they have been targeted by this law, and they will lose their Medicaid eligibility. This is what they have been working on for 8 years. This is what they have wasted all of this time on for 8 years. And this is the best that they could come up with. And they still have people who support them. This is the number one thing that they've been involved with for 6 years. I keep saying 8, but 6 years. For almost 7 years, the number one thing that they have been involved with and focused on and driving their electoral success has been to repeal and replace Obamacare. And they can't even come up with a decent replacement or a decent repeal because they're not going to repeal it. They're just repealing the mandate. The one thing that actually makes it work, Republicans are willing to die on that hill because you know what, their base does not care. Their base does not care.